Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Elise Schweitzer. I'm a professor of painting in the art department here at Hollins, and I'm delighted to introduce tonight our artist in residence for 2024, Ying Li. Each year, the Artist in Residence program brings to campus a nationally and internationally recognized artist who presents a solo exhibition, has a studio in the VAC building, and teaches a special studio art seminar. And I know your students are here tonight as well. Ying Li's paintings are currently on display in the museum, and they look fantastic. Thank you to Janine Culligan, Janet Carty, Laura James Ransberg, and Laura Carden for their beautiful work installing the show and producing the catalog. I encourage you all to spend time in the museum with Ying's paintings. To quote a 2017 review of an exhibition of Li's work by Joan Goodrich, when entering an installation of her work, one immediately takes in the swirls of paint, applied so thickly and furiously that only after a moment one recognizes trees, water, and buildings. Once identified, however, such elements tend to acquire an uncannily sturdy presence. They become stable entities in a willful storm. You have to see these storming swirls of paints in person. We are so fortunate that this work is here. They are dimensional. They crowd out of the surface of the painting, in some cases even past the canvas and onto the frame. To a painter, this is just delicious. It feels to me like all appetite, but then there's that uncanny stability in them as well. Ying Li was born in Beijing, China, and graduated from Anhui Teachers University before emigrating to the United States and receiving an MFA from Parsons School of Design. She is the Phyllis Kostlund Professor of Fine Arts at Haverford College. Her numerous one-person exhibitions include those at the New York Studio School of Drawing, Painting, and Sculpture, Elizabeth Harris Gallery, the Painting Center and Bowery Gallery, and in college and university galleries at Dartmouth, Swarthmore, Haverford, Bryn Mawr, the College of Staten Island, and Big Town Gallery, Vermont. Her work has also appeared in numerous group exhibitions, including those at the American Academy of Art and Letters, the National Academy Museum, Tiber Tenage Gallery, Laurie Bookstein Fine Arts, Forest Gallery, and the Hood Museum of Art. Over the years, Ying Li has painted in France, Spain, Ireland, Italy, and Switzerland, in Newfoundland, Maine, and the Colorado Rockies, upstate New York, as well as New York City. I cannot wait to see what she makes of Hollins in the spring. Please join me in welcoming Ying Li.
Thank you, Elise, for bringing me here, and thanks for everybody in the museum for putting up a pretty awesome show, right? We did. Yeah, and for coming to Haverford, bring back all this, crazy, messy paintings. Yeah, and to thank Ashley for schlepping me around, get me settled. I can't wait to start paint. Yeah, I can't wait to see what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I looked in the lobby. I see all these awesome paintings hanging there. And there's so many painters who made those paintings I admire so much. And, I just feel very privileged to be part of this history, to be part of this incredible program. And also thank my students. Even I only met you in these little photos on Zoom, and I can't wait to work with you through the semester. And finally, I want to thank Andrew. Where is Andrew? Yeah, for, just managing the class. Thank you. And I wanted to just start really fast to go through some of the early histories, so you get some idea why I paint like this now. This is a piece I did for my college thesis exhibition. And before this, actually, I feel like before this, I already had another life before I got into college. I grew up in China under a communist regime. That's what they called under red flag. And I remember when I grew up, there was very limited palette. You see on street, what the people were, and basically, black, dark blue in winter, lighter blue, white in the summer. You only see red flags, the Communist Party flags, that's the red. And so since I was small, I already kind of, longing for color. And during Cultural Revolution, my dad, a college professor, sent to labor camp, and then I sent it to countryside, and then my mom sent it also to the farm to do labor work. So for 10 years, I didn't see my father. A few times I saw my mom. And during that time, actually, I really found, to be able to just even draw a little by myself, sort of it's a way to get away from this craziness around me. It's in a way, it's still function like that, the art. I was very lucky when the college started to open up after 10-year close. They started to, accepting students. I was very excited that I wanted to study art. I wanted to be a painter. But then I found out I was not even qualified to even take the exam because of my political background. My father considered what they called the 5 black kind, which is like, anti-revolution type. I was very frustrated and angry. I wanted to where they give an exam. And very, very lucky, the professor who conducts the exam saw me. I just sit by the door. I had my sketchbook. I just drew like a crazy, and totally out of, anger, frustration. And he didn't say anything. I thought he would kick me out, but he didn't. And he really fought very hard to get me into college. That is like the biggest break in my life. So in college, it's interesting because now, you guys study different, different fields. You have your requirements. We had requirements done too, but our requirements is a military training and the 1 semester working in the factory and the 1 semester working the, villages. But I was so very happy because I was in college and I was studying art. I just happy. And this is the piece I spent a year put together. In a way, this pretty much like the only piece I really did from, study, very careful study, drawings and the photos and, the preparation for the big ones. I don't work this way anymore. But this piece, I spent a whole year, did all the study. And then when we passed the political exam. Everything had to pass political exam at that time. And these pieces didn't get passed because of the girl wearing this blue dress. They said she looked too bourgeois. The dress is too tight. The color is too bright. How could you wear this to work? And they say, look at those shoes. You don't wear that to work. So they asked me to change to change it to different outfit. I didn't. I just did another painting. I got passed. And at that point, the political atmosphere started to change. The Gang of Four, was down, and they left me in the college. I started to teach that fall. I taught for 6 years, and I was not that happy for what I was doing with my work. I did a lot of commission work. The government give you assignment to do, big historical revolution paintings and the big portraits of Mao's, like a, big mural paintings. And I thought that this is it's not what I want to do, but I didn't know what I want to do that time. And I came to States at 83. That's the first time I got on airplane. I fly, and I still love to travel, because I guess I'm such a late, bloomer. I still haven't got sick of traveling around. Okay, let's see the next. Whoops. I remember very clearly the first day I arrived Newark Airport, and my husband Michael drove us to Manhattan, and I just remember that was like a, the sun was just settled down, and the light from the city just like coming out. The tremendous volume of the light I've never seen my whole life, because at that time in China, 8 o'clock's dark. So I was so very, very excited. Next day, went to Museum of Modern Art, and first time I saw Cézanne. That time I remember the Cézanne's bather, that big painting, a boy standing at the, beach like this. My tear just ran down. I thought, wow, I can't believe I've seen this in person. And then, walking Bonnard, Giacometti, Derain, Picasso, room after room. I only saw them, some of these people, these painters, only on the magazine, which was very rare in China. Could see those magazines. I saw them just like so fascinating, by the way they paint. And then that fall, there was a big de Kooning retrospective at Whitney. And I remember walking to the show, there was his whole series of women on the wall. And I was just like, knock me down. How could you paint people that way? I only painted I painted plenty figures, figurative paintings, but that's always good people, red chick, bad people, dark purple, things like that. And the way also the surface, the painting just come towards you. I think that's, that is like a really big impact on me. Also open the door, give me, you know, some sense, you know, the possibilities. And I went to Parsons, I want to study more. And also I want to get my degree. So I still like to teach, you know, because I taught in China, and I really like, you know, that kind of a, you know, dialogue. So I thought I need to study more. So look for a place, and Parsons is on 13th Street. So I could ride a bike there. So that's the only thing I know about it. I had no idea what kind of school that was, what kind of program, but I could just, you know, rode my bike there. And just happened, it's a great program. And it's a small, and but it's so pure, man. It's just there's 3 professors, Paul Resica, John Hallaker, and Leland Bell. You know, these are, you know, they're just like opinionated and serious painters, you know, and especially Leland Bell. He was one of the most opinionated person. But what he opened up for me, just like incredible. And I remember every Friday he had this, he just came in with this tray of a slide, still using slide, you know, came in and put the tray, and he just went, you know, from, you know, way back, Etruscan, you know, fine paintings, all the way to Mondrian. You know, for me, it's like, wow, because I didn't have art history here. And in China, the art history is a propaganda history, basically. And also, they didn't introduce Western art. They only introduced like a few people who, like a Picasso was a communist member. That's the whole reason they, you know, that only showed him certain, you know, work, like a working class figure. So to me, it's like heavenly. And the best thing was he took the class to museums. Just went through. He didn't care about things he didn't care. He never talked about those. And he just went right to the paintings he loved. And just happened, you know, just that works for me, you know, and I just feel really, you know, that there is a connection. I just learned tremendously. Am I doing the right thing? Okay. This is his self-portrait. I think some of you here might know his work. He's an amazing painter. You know, when I was a student, I was not that crazy about his work. I thought they're so dry, man. Yeah, and but now I love them. I love the, you know, this uncompromised, you know, abstraction, the structure under it, you know, and how the image, you know, how the figure and the abstraction and the geometry all work together. It's an amazing painter. That's the de Kooning I saw. Whoops. Okay. You know, now, you know, you guys seen so much. You guys seen everything, like before you even got into college, you know, but for me, it's like when I saw this, it's tremendous. So this is a piece I did in grad school. And you can see it's very different from the one I did for my thesis work. And I think about that a lot, you know, because people ask me, you know, wow, you paint thick. oh, you use a lot of paint. You know, actually, in a way, it's not about the just the using of the paint. It's really like my reaction to my life experience back then. And I just wanted to go the opposite and see how far I could go. And yeah, that's pretty much the reason. So in 1999, I got a chance to teach at International School of Art in Umbria in Italy, which is founded by Nick Caroni in studio school at New York Studio School. Was an amazing place. The downstairs, all these artists on your wall, bunch of them being that school. That energy, it's amazing, especially, in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And it's so many incredible painters and, people are, writers on art. Andrew Forge there every summer, Ruth Miller, Stanley when they're later. It's just like, the sense of a community, sense of there is a common goal, it is amazing. I had the privilege painted there for 8 summers. I taught for 8 summers. That place got me into landscape. So you see, this landscape is pretty much as a landscape. And I painted, that place really got me, to travel, to go to places to just paint different kind of air, different kind of light, different kind of a color, palette, structure. This is a Newfoundland, Canada. Cranberry Island in Maine. This painting actually got me think about the Chinese painting because the strokes, the marks, very much go with how they build the duck. It's like I really had fun painting this painting, just like a choo 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 choo. Just then the water you just go different swirl, yeah. It's this is a 17th century boat called the Maryland Dove. I painted in St. Mary College when I did a residence there. I literally painted that boat for a whole month. I did the whole month. I did the residence there. I only painted that painting. It's like sometimes things are just haunted on you. You couldn't let it go. And I painted so many paintings of this boat. Sometimes, the artists, what they do, there is no kind of a logical reason. It's just some kind of a instinct. Sometimes just a silly kind of dumb little ideas, but that can really lead to something much deeper. Usually when you have a grand idea and you say, I'm going to build the Empire State Building, usually that, doesn't happen. But small idea can really get you into it, to make a painting of that. Then I got really hooked by boat for a while. This is a boat, it's a ferry on Chautauqua Lake. They drag that boat from Mississippi River to Chautauqua Lake, used as a ferry from May Mayville, next town to Chautauqua, the ground. And then I painted this boat for a month. And this is one of the later ones. The same boat. After a while, it's sort of you just keep knocking on this same, subject matter, really get you transformed, get the painting transformed into your own ideas. And also they bring different ideas, that become a more painting. Sunset on the bay. Then this is in Spain. I did a residence near the desert in the southern Spain, Oaxaca. And Switzerland. And Portugal. You can see this, there, the cross through number of years. You can see my implication of the, marks. They change. Yeah. And also lately, I've been thinking about the Chinese calligraphy. I think about how you use the mark as its own universe, like one stroke, can read as a complete entity. And the same time, it's part of structure, rhythm, and, Telluride in Colorado. I was there also five, not really summer, fall, the pretty cold. I just remember in the morning, everything just freeze. Then the sun came out because feels the sun so close, and the ice starts to melt. But just when you're still painting there, and then it freeze again, just in that few hours, go through that cycle. It's the same view. This is somewhere else. It's okay. This is and I did this in Rome. I got to do a visiting artist in the American Academy for a few weeks, and painted in their garden. This incredible garden in Academy, and this is like a fence into that very kind of a mysterious space. This is one of the paintings did there. I just this is my hometown, New York. Each piece is 12 by 12. It's paper. I did this piece after my husband died. The first piece I did after like a year and a half. For a year and a half, I couldn't really work. And then I started to draw in his study, where he wrote, he read. And I look out of the window, I start to just draw what I saw. And these pieces really got me back, to my work. This is all from that one single window. It's amazing, actually. You don't need it to. Now I realize, I travel far to paint. Then sometimes I thought, you stay at home, you work. And this is New York painting. The same window. This one's pretty big. It's about 7 feet vertical. This is on board. The white line actually are carved in. I use the woodcut knife carved into it. Because I thought, since I'm painting thick, then I thought, can I paint thin? You always you want to, to see if I do that way, so that's how that come out. Okay, we're into pandemic. This is the first piece I did when the pandemic, start. And then I think you guys will remember, clinics very, very scared. You couldn't find it on the shelf. They're all gone. And some, really like a daily, object you use, you never thought about them, then become something just right on your face. And my boyfriend and I, we locked down at Haverford campus, and we left in New York City. We just stay on campus. We're very, very lucky, because Haverford had this amazing campus. It's a really beautiful, and it particularly beautiful during the pandemic because nobody trimmed them, so everything just grow wild. And then animals are running around. It's become so surreal. And so I just painted on campus. Nobody could get to you, and Conrad, my boyfriend, helped me, drag a big canvas, just dump me there. Okay, I come to get you later. And it's a extraordinary experience. I think also because in such an extreme situation, so things sort of, it doesn't matter anymore. I didn't think about if I'm making good painting or a bad painting. I just want to paint. And so it really give me sense of, freedom. It's sort of a just do it. Just do it. Cherry blossom and the peonies on campus. I painted these paintings right in front of those academic buildings. Usually students passing, always, people around. There's no way I could set up there. Also, I'm such a messy painter. And that time, nobody bothered me. It's amazing. This is the path to the science center. Yeah. Anyone has questions, just just bring it up. This painting I painted on the porch. I try to, to really build a bridge between kind of inside and the exterior, and then let these two sort of mingle together. And then meanwhile, I use different way to apply the paint, and pretty much I use knives and branches, my hand, and the squeeze tubes right on it. And, different way to use your brush and the knife can create this really cool kind of a wiggling, trembling kind of a effect, One thing I don't want of my painting, to feel stiff. I wanted to, it's something live, it's something moving, and it's something keep changing, This is downstairs. Yeah, there's a little empty bird nest Conrad brought home, and just put on the ledge of the porch and then started paint. And it's become sort of a collection of different lines and the different, patches. It's a deteriorated watermelon. Actually, this painting has a history. Zhang Niao, the writer on art, was curating a show called Home Cooking. And he asked a bunch of Asian artists, and so he contacted me, asked me if I want to be in. I said, of course, sure. But actually, I don't paint still lifes. And then I thought, oh, I better paint some, objects. And when you talk about home cooking, of course, we think about our childhood and what you ate, what your mom cooked, what your grandma cooked, and that assignment really, brought so many memories. And, some of the stuff I really don't want to think about. I want to push them away. I wanted to go forward. But during, that piece of time, making these few paintings for the project really make me think about my roots and then my bringing up. And this painting is about this watermelon. When I was sent to countryside, and then my mom got this huge watermelon, just cut in half. My sister and I, we each had half big watermelon. We just scooped, ate it. Then, I was gone. And just every painting is ourselves. It's our history, somewhere, buried there, and they always they come back. This is another one for that project. It's to get a sense of like a tabletop, the foreground and the background, and I had some orchid in it, just have them all mingle together. This okay, back to campus. I've been painting this duck pond on campus for years. And these, I just show you a few I did during the pandemic. You can see, my idea and, how I approach the painting sort of transform. These about 70, 80 inches across, 7 feet or something. Two paintings actually on your right, actually it was a still life. And I painted inside. And the other one, I painted the outside. Then they sit in the studio for quite a while. I just feel like in each of them, there's something missing. I was just working on it. And then just, one morning I woke in, I thought, wow, they're meant to be together. And so when I saw that, everything sort of become clear, and I just kept working on it. That's what happened now. This same spot in the late fall season. And this is a very early spring, still ice, snow. But I think that season is, you have the clearest air, and that freshness I really want to catch. And in this painting, I want my palette. I didn't have any dark on the palette. I wanted to keep it really high key. And so you can see the red actually here is the dark. I'm painting this neighbor house. That's that little greenhouse. It's my little fox. It's amazing during the pandemic. They just sit by the main driveway on campus. It's so surreal. When I saw that, reminded me of Kurosawa's very late movie. There was one, it's like a few stories together. There's one story about this fox waiting or something. You see them walking in the woods. And then suddenly I had the thought, I thought, oh, that's where he got it. They just like, it's their land. They're just, strolling around on campus. Little duckling, the geese. This cat had a fight with the fox. She was very, very clever. She just ran on the pole by the duck pond. Anyway, just like the stories, it's amazing. Even though we all sort of locked in our own house, but there's so much going on out there. This is a Kingsley plantation on Amelia Island in Florida. That's the first residence I did after the COVID pandemic. And end up, I did 3. I went there 3 times. I just fell in love with that place. It's the Timucua land. They all gone, no more. But you still feel their presence there, and just it feels it's a different time, and it really different, very different land. I'll just show you a few paintings I did there. Okay. This is by the river, St. John's River. Did you guys hear me? I forgot this thing. I love to do residence. The reason is, of course, you get away from your routine, all those chores, those obligations, you can just put them aside, for a little bit. And also, usually they become really boring, but that's good because you get to this routine and all in your head, it's about next painting. And so when you get into the next painting, then you get another next painting. The painting actually, it's like one huge painting, you know, keep going, get deeper, get more involved, get more, you know, transformed. You know, I love, you know, to have that experience. And you can see like a series of this painting, and they really get more into something about air, about atmosphere, you know, about the abstraction instead of what really in front of me. Because I painted what in front of me so many times. So each time you painted next painting, sort of like a, you know, you start from where you left. There's a very closed, you know, atmosphere. Yeah, I was painting. This painting just fell off. And actually it fell on me. You could say I'm just like covered. And that's the painting. After, you know, again, with this one, it's really my idea about, you know, the painting I did. You know, after that painting, I thought I'm going to do really bright one, do different palette. And they have these slave cabinets on their ground. Really haunting. It's amazing. Yeah. This is a man, Cranberry Island. I'm showing you now some mixed media work on paper. Lately, I've been doing a lot of this because I've been traveling a lot, and but it's like a really short trips, and not like an artist residency. Usually, you have a few weeks. I've been, you know, traveling with some jazz band, and just, you know, go to Europe, a different place, and you know, different concert halls, you know, different clubs. It was just so great, so exciting. But you only have like these couple of hours you can really work, because next morning, 3 o'clock, you're going to airport, you know, and go to next concert, different city. And so I, you know, I just try to figure out what really doable, what I can carry to make, you know, make something. This is Groningen in Belgium. This is the cathedral I see from the hotel's window. These are watercolor and some pastels, and then are carved into it. Some of the white lines. This is a peacock, Lisbon, this old palace, whatever, the fountain. Oops. This is a, yeah, series of pieces. There are about 14, 11 by 14, size like that. These, you know, some of these I worked, you know, I go back to it just in the hotel room without, you know, the motif in front of me, you know, kept working on it. And this one, I particularly attached to it because the red lines at the end, I was painting the old ancient wall, and the line comes out, looks just like Chinese calligraphy. I thought, that is like a kind of a subconscious thing come out. Amelia Island, and very close to Kingsley Plantation in Florida. This is a quite recent, last summer. I want to talk a little bit about what I've been thinking in the past 10 years. When I came to this country, I wanted to abandon everything I had before. When I was in China, I wanted to forget them, and I don't want to carry it. And but lately, that's the thing. I just I go back constantly, and I've been thinking about those old, like from Yuan Dynasty landscape paintings, and the symbolic meaning in them. Also, the way they use different strokes, with such limited material, and to put together the image, and also how they use the paper, as your imaginary space, to make that work into their marks. And these, there's a sixth principle in Chinese painting calligraphy, sort of really my guidelines, how I wanted to approach my work. The six of them, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that talk about technique and your chops, and compositions, your brush handling, and the color and the copy master works. But the number one is really the core to make a piece of art really great. And how you inject, your life, your spirit, and how you transmit that into the viewers, to make that connection. That's the thing I've been, it's always in my head. If that not there, here says, then the others, you really doesn't make sense. So the vitality, is really the, the goal. And a very simple brush, very soft, hair, and the pointed, and ink and the water and the paper, and what you can do with that. And just in this one character, the character's meaning is a war. And in this one character, I just feel I got so much emotion in it. And the speed of the line travel on the paper, and the pressure, how much pressure there. And also you can see it's so musical, the stop and the silence, and also the brush sort of lifted from the paper, but actually it's still there, they connect everything. Is, to me, it's like, wow. And with this piece, you can see the negative space and big, small, how the character placed on the paper. And again, you can feel the artist's arm. We always talk about, the actions not from your finger, it's really from the earth. And they come from your body, from to your shoulder, and your arm is an extension of that brush. Always I think about that. I think about, yeah, because when you think that way, your playground is just so much bigger. And the energy level just so much bigger. Okay, I think this was sort of a, you can see, I would really think about the rhythm built by, the lines. This is a little fake Christmas tree, white plastic, stupid kind of Christmas tree, and it has some ornament hang on it. But when you start to paint, all kinds of your imagination just started to, come up. And it's a 7 feet vertical. And after this painting, actually, I did a bunch of paintings based on that, started from that little plastic tree. I called them a poet tree, just kind of silly. This is 2 panels. Yeah, it's a continuation of that idea. This piece is 90 some inches across. Also I was thinking about those Yuan Dynasty Chinese painting. They really create a world. You just feel it's higher. It's somewhere there. It's a sort of like you see some of these Renaissance paintings. It's Bellini's San Francisco. That painting, yeah, in New York, that's one of my favorite painting. I always go to look at the painting, how he created this worldly, the sense of it's a world, it's bigger than just, what's in front of you. I put in a few drawings because I draw all the time. And we have like this Wednesday drawing session, open drawing on campus at Haverford. I just draw with students. Nobody teach, we just do our thing. And I love that. Drawing is really a vehicle to get me think about how I can get that kind of immediacy, that urgency in the painting. Of course, painting is so much more complicated. You got the whole material, the palette, the medium, the paint, and the different tubes, all the stuff. And the drawing is just this piece of charcoal or pencil in your hand. And but that really got me to think about how I can make that process in the painting as compact as possible. That's another reason I started to use just squeeze tubes, because you just go, you don't have to mix. And the student just pose. And Peter, his name, he was really cool. He just said, what pose? I said, do a Caravaggio. So he just lay upside down. Also, I draw clubs, concerts. Always I have a drawing pad with me. And I suggest you guys, it's like a writer, you jot down some of your thoughts or what you heard, and because of some of these images, if you don't put it down, it's just disappear forever. I wish I could paint like a jazz musician playing. I know I never will get close to that, but something worth a try. This is the Mingus Big Band, my favorite band in the world. Okay, that's it. And questions. I told my class 3 questions at least. Yeah. Oh, here, just speak. My palette, it's a mess. But I started pretty clean, and I have a very, very limited color to start with, because I wanted to really try to have things under control, to make it not too complicated at the beginning. Then gets to the point I feel that absolutely I have to add other color, then I add it in. And then, gets messier, but that's really cool, because all these stuff there, they can really make a color. You can't just consciously try to mix. And those middle tones is very precious. Those middle tones are really the base of, you can go more extreme. You can use primary colors, so it's messy. Yeah, and a lot paint. And I feel the body of the paint really give you opportunity to see, to let themselves react to each other. And also, when you let's say you scoop, a pile of paint, you put on the canvas, you sort of threw off everything there. That sort of get you, into another level of struggling. That's that's my process. Yeah.
Are the colors that you use, do you focus on getting them as close to the realistic color that you're seeing, or do you allow yourself to get imaginative with pushing the colors?
Good question. I really do both. I think the whole process is really like a contradictory, and you sort of like you react, you rebel to what you did before, and but also you try to control it, and but you don't want to be controlled. And I thought I really get what's in front of me. And but after a while, you really see different kind of reality and the relationship. It's amazing. All these colors, I don't think I invented them. They're all there. you know, it's a, when I put down, and I thought, oh, that makes sense, you know. Also, one reason I love to paint outside, you know, my painting is not, you know, straight landscape. But I love the energy and the possibility and the brightness and the change, you know, all the way in nature. And so, you know, the painting sort of go along with it. And yeah, I really do both. I really do both. I try to be really faithful, but it's different kind of, you know, different kind of, you know, faithfulness. Yeah. Yes.
For your oil paintings, how long do they usually take to dry before they like transport?
They take a while. They take a while, but it's interesting, you know, the surface is sort of, they get dry, like, you know, end of the month, the surface form, it's still soft. Yeah, and, but you know, you have to transfer them, you make this box, you know, and, you know, one thing I'm so proud of myself, I developed a way of cut them. Yeah, and, so far, they're pretty. I shouldn't say, you know, he helped me say it. It's not a word anymore. Yeah. Could you speak louder? I lost you.
Like the whole thing? Say, speak the whole thing?
Yeah.
About your principles of calligraphy. For
Yeah.
the first and second point. For the first point, how do you think your vitality is transmitted through your painting? And then for the second point, this brush stroke and like paint thickness, such a big motif in your work. What do you think that says about your personality?
Yeah, you know, it's a complicated question. I think that we paint who we are. We really do. In a way, you just have to be really, really faithful to yourself. You know, to be really true to yourself. You know, we all study tons of, you know, great paintings before us. You know, they're all there, but you really can't think like that. You know, because, you know, it's just not you. You know, but you need to study how they can do that. You know, I look tons of stuff. And for the first, you know, the vitality, I think that they really comes, someone can answer that for me. You know, there's something about the, you know, the spirit, you know, the spirit of artist itself, and then the spirit in, you know, in the motif, in nature, also, whatever you paint, you know, that I think that connection, and also how you make them, you know, to me, every piece is a journey. It's a journey sort of like to find a little more of yourself, you know, and it's not repeat yourself. You know, so that is sort of like a really needed energy, you know, that energy, you know, that's what we call creativity. Yeah. I know, I'm kind of mad here.
in a lot of your meetings, there's the painting hats in it. I was wondering if you're putting them there, if they're falling in.
I did it, you know, my palette is so messy. And also, you know, when you're like so in a, you so desperate. You know, you know, you pick up tools, and you know, it's just like a mess. It just gets there. Yeah, you know, most time I even didn't realize they were there. And you know, Conrad said, you there? But it's okay, you know, it's part of the process.
Maybe one more question and then we can move out to the reception.
Yeah.
We actually have a question from the Zoom, if you could move over towards the mic so she could hear you.
Oh,
So our Zoom question, saying, she paints outside a lot. How do you take into account the different lighting as the sun goes over you and then sets?
that's a great one. That's a great one. And it's interesting because I can stand there for 8 hours from the morning to you know, whenever. And you know, the painting sort of evolves, they change. And I just, you know, I just go along with that process. You know, to me, my painting, it's a really accumulation of, you know, of this process. And, but I finished the painting really quick because I needed to grab that, you know, that movement. I need, you know, sort of have everything click. And that's how I, you know, the process. And the light is, you know, the painting, when it gets to a certain point, they build into it's a really own life there. And then you sort of, you know, if you know, you are with it, or you know, you need to just, you know, keep going. And meanwhile, you just take from out there, you know, to, it's a really like a triangle thing, you know, to make that all work together. Yeah, and that click moment is like we call it ding, you know, you just, you hear that, you know, you hear it, you see the light come through. You know, it's there. Yeah. The process, you know, everybody, you know, you develop your own process. And I think the process really, you know, carry through your own, you know, your own interpretation we all do the same thing, you know, the forms, the compositions, you know, the surface and the color, you know, your tonal and your color work together, you know, but everybody has, you know, your own way, you know, to achieve, you know, that kind of a harmony, you know. So, you know, how you get there, yeah, you have to find your own path. I know, it's such a, you know, we study, you know, I go to museums, I look, I say, wow, look at that corner, you know, look at that Tintoretto, you know, that look like a man expressionist. And then you look at, you know, Botha's surface, look at, you know, oh, the ancient Roman wall, you know, it's just they really find their own character. You know, that's, you know, they think, oh, okay, you have your voice. I don't know if okay.
All right, Ying, thank you so much.
Sure.